It's really easy to ignore somebody that you're no contact with, right? Somebody that doesn't live with you, somebody that you're not living with, somebody that you don't run into. It's very easy. But what about if you're living under the same roof as a malignant narcissist? This could be a parent, it could be a spouse, it could be an adult child, it could be a sibling. What do you do when you're still living under the same roof? Today, I want to talk about the right way and the wrong way to ignore malignant narcissists. So if you are living under the same roof with somebody that you feel is an emotional abuser, you're going to want to watch this video. Let's first talk about the wrong way to ignore narcissists. Okay, so if you're watching this video and you have a family member that you feel may be high on the spectrum, as they say, right? Then you know that they love to provoke you, right? They love to get you mad, upset, confused, frustrated, sad, anything negative. So you also know that one of the things they do to do that is that they utilize the silent treatment and kind of treat you like the living dead. Well, when I talk about ignoring, I'm not talking about the silent treatment. Okay, so I want to clear that up really quick. The silent treatment is done to punish someone. The silent treatment is done to hurt you for acting out of harmony with whatever they, did or didn't want you to do, or to hurt you for not doing or being or thinking or feeling what they wanted you to do, think, be, or feel. When I say ignore the narcissist, it's not about stooping to their level and trying to hurt them in order to control them. Because think about it, isn't that what the silent treatment is about? Isn't that what they do? They give you the silent treatment and it hurts so much, and their goal is so that you don't do whatever you did that caused them to do that. Confusing myself in my own head. The first thing I want to really make clear is that the ignoring of the narcissist is not with the goal to control them. Gotta get that through. It's gotta sink in. So the wrong way to ignore them would be to, completely stop talking to them the way they do. Don't answer their questions. Completely act as if they're dead, right? As if they're the living dead. If they've done something that you don't like. It's the wrong way. Why do I say that's the wrong way? Because if you do that, remember, you're dealing with an expert manipulator. They will know how to set you up in front of the other family members so that you look like the bad guy. They'll ask you something really sweet that makes them look like they want to have a close relationship with you, right? After they've hurt you behind closed doors, right? They've hurt you, so now you're giving them the reverse silent treatment, which I don't recommend. And so in front of people, they'll be like, I really want to make your favorite meal today. What is it? What would you like that today? And you're doing your reverse silent treatment, you're not going to answer, and it makes you look bad in front of the family members. In essence, they're setting you up to look like the problems between the two of you are your fault. So that's why reverse silent treatment is not the correct way to ignore a narcissist. Another incorrect way of ignoring them is with anger or frustration. In other words, maybe you'll answer their questions, but they're very short. They're very harsh. For example, using that same illustration where they've kind of set you up behind closed doors and now you're mad at them, right? Because they hurt you. They did something which logically would make you upset. So now you're going to answer, because you don't want to go into reverse silent treatment, but you're going to do so with frustration and anger. So they might say, I want to make your favorite meal. Would you like that? And you're like, whatever, right? You're answering them, but you are letting them and everyone else present know, I'm upset with this person. Why doesn't that work? Well, because their whole goal is to get you upset. In fact, the more upset you are, the easier it is for them to feel calm and peaceful. So you're falling into their trap, right? And on top of it, once again, you're looking like the bad guy because they're trying to be nice to you and you're snapping at them. Now, no one is seeing what they're doing to you that's making you upset because as expert manipulators, they know to hide that. So again, that's the wrong way to ignore. The other wrong way to ignore the narcissist is people will hear like a video like I'm putting up now, and they'll hear those first two suggestions and they'll try to not do that, and they'll try to not feel the anger and frustration that causes them to do that. In other words, they try to stifle the frustration and the anger. That doesn't work either because, as you guys have heard on so many videos of mine and on so many videos of other people, what we resist persists. So eventually you're going to blow up, and they're going to make sure that you blow up in a strategically perfect moment so that you again look like the bad guy. So let's get to how to ignore them the right way. The way you ignore a malignant narcissist that you're living with the right way is by not reacting to their crazy. And the way you get to that place where you cannot react is, I guess you'd say the first step would be to let go of expecting reasonable, normal, and healthy behavior from them. And the way you get to that place where you can do that is by letting go of expecting them to be anything other than who they are, which is a malignant emotional abuser. So when they do something that's mean or they say something that's cruel, you're able to notice it as just another piece of evidence as to who they are. So instead of absorbing it, you notice it. So if your mom insults you, which is hard, I get it. I know that these tools are hard to apply in the family arrangement, but they do work, okay? So if your mom says something like, you're such a horrible person, if you recognize that your mom is a malignant narcissist, then what you say inside of yourself is, there's mom being mom. There's mom showing more evidence as to who she is, which I guess is just a fancy way of saying observe, don't absorb, right? You notice it. That's what she does. And the way you ignore it is by not responding to the crazy. So if your malignant parent says, you're such a failure. In everything in life you do, you're going to fail at. You observe it. You notice there's mom. What is she doing? Why is she doing that? Well, two things are going on. One, she's probably projecting, right? If you ever want to know what a narcissist really feels about themselves, just listen to what they accuse you of, okay? So notice the projection. You'll be like, oh, wow, that must be what mom feels about herself. She must feel like she's a failure. Number two, the other thing that's going on is she's trying to get you upset or angry or depressed because that's what she's feeling inside. And in order to regulate herself, she needs to fling that onto you, see that you feel it so that she could feel better. But once you understand this and you notice it, now you know. You realize it has nothing to do with you. So responding instead of reacting would sound something like, really? Okay. Thanks, Mom. Thanks for letting me know how you feel. And going on about your day. When you do that, I know it sounds impossible. I know when I learned that tool and somebody said, Michele, if you have relationships like this and you do this, then you're not going to be feeling so horrible inside. I remember thinking, yeah, right, like that's possible. That's like totally impossible to be able to do that. And it can feel that way. But once you start practicing, it gets easier. And another thing that helps it to become easier is that rather than trying to get the other person to validate your worth, right? Because that's what tends to happen. We tend to want to prove that this false accusation is false. And I mean, it makes sense. If somebody's saying a lie about you, you want to prove that it's a lie. The problem is that you're trying to prove it to somebody that is never going to see it. They don't care about truth or lies. They really just want drama and emotion. When you realize that, you remove the desire to have them validate your worth and you give it to yourself, which is where it belongs anyway. So the way you do that is you validate it on the inside. You validate the emotion that they're bringing up in you, which is probably pain, right? I'm feeling pain that I have a parent that talks to me like this. I'm feeling pain that other people have parents that support them and build them up, and I'm constantly being belittled, demeaned, insulted, and torn apart. That hurts. So validate that pain. That hurts. Just validate it inside of yourself, because if you try to get your parent to validate it, it's just going to lead to more drama and you're going to be more hurt and they're going to be fueling off of all of your emotions. Okay, so you validate your emotion. That hurts. By doing that, it helps you to stay grounded in you, and that's what helps you to have the clarity to be able to apply the observe, don't absorb. And then the last step is to keep yourself in a positive place. In other words, your inner dialogue would sound something like, well, that sucks. You know, my parents is so mean and hurtful, you know, and it hurts me that I have to deal with this. But I can see that she's just, or he is just projecting and trying to do an exchange of emotional energy, right? They want me to take their anger and frustration and take away my peace and happiness. This is the last step of the inner dialogue, is I'm so glad that I understand these dynamics. I'm so proud of myself for understanding what's really going on and for having the strength to stay grounded in myself. I'm so proud of myself. When you do that and you use your inner dialogue like that, what you are ignoring is their crazy, their insults. You are ignoring their manipulation, not because you don't see it, but because you're choosing to not get sucked into it. And the result is you can have a conversation with them without the anger, without the frustration, without all of that. And you're ignoring the crazy and you're staying grounded in self. When you do that, you will see and feel such a difference in how you feel while you have to still be under the same roof. Now, it's not a permanent solution, because if you're living with someone that's living to create drama and throw all of their negative emotions in you and take all of your passion and your happiness and your peace, a person can only take so much. But if you start applying these tools and you ignore them the right way, by responding, by staying grounded inside of yourself, by validating yourself, by empowering yourself, you will be able to get to a place where you stay and feel grounded, confident, you have your self-love, and that gives clarity of mind. That's when you'll be able to make decisions about your future that are really going to help you. So I would love to hear, if you try these tools, let me know how they go in the comment section below. And remember to check out the links in the description box for any resources and tools that might be helpful for you on your healing journey.